Well, good morning, everybody. From Crandall Pool, Neil Dwyer with you on Night Vision as we just about getting ready to start our senior day event, and obviously starting with the diving. It's about 10 minutes before 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Army, Bucknell, and Boston College, the three schools in this meet. First up is Ellie Uhl from Boston College up at the board. This is the 3-meter dive, as you see on your screen. And these scores listed as 6.5, 6, and 6. Now Serica Halstad from Army up. And Halstead gets these same scores as Ellie Uhl, 6, 6, and 6.5.
105C, 4, 2.5, tug, 2.2. Scores 5, 6, 5.5.
5, 6, 5.5 the scores on that dive. Paige Sholkoff of Bucknell. Starting off with her back to the water.
Five and a half, 6,
5. 5.5, 6, and 5 for Sholkoff from Bucknell. Now Lena Schumann from Bucknell, her teammate, on the board.
Five and a half, 5.5, 5.5.
All three scores 5.5 for Elena Schumann. Army's Catherine Sire now up. Going from the edge of the board.
Seven, 7, 7.
3 7s for Catherine Sire. It's the best score so far. Heather Yoshi from Army now up. Heather Yoshi with 3 6.5s.
Jory Mason, 105B, 2.4.
Jory Mason from Army. So 3 straight black knights coming to the board.
Five, 4, 4.5.
5, 4, 4.5 for Jory Mason.
Gabriella, 5132D, 2.1.
Gabriella Tagian from Boston College.
Scores 5.5, 5, 5.5.
5.5, 5.5, and 5 for Gabriella Tagian.
105B, 2.6.
Now we're moving from the women's 3 meter to the men's 1 meter. 6-5 and 6. Score there on that dive.
Andrew Mizell, 105B, 2.6.
Army's Andrew Mizell coming up.
Scores 6.5, 7.
6.5, 6.5, and 7 for Andrew Mizell.
Diver is Jackson Rotundo.
Jackson
105B,
Rotundo from Boston College up. Just focusing in on Rotundo, going from the shadows of beneath the big board, beneath the high dive.
Scores 4, 4.5, 5.
4, 4.5, and 5 for Jackson Rotundo of Boston College.
105B, 2.6.
Mike Burke from Army.
Six, 5, 4.5.
6.5, 4.5 for Michael Burke.
Hudson K, 403B, 2.4.
Hudson K of Army. Coming up from the very edge of beneath the high dive. Front flip into the pool.
Scores 7, 7, 6.5.
7, 7, 6.5 for Hudson K.
105C, 2.4.
Kyle Lipton of Army. Good round of applause.
6, 5.5, 5.5.
6, 5.5, 5.5.
Garrett Summer, 403B, 2.4.
Garrett Summer from Bucknell coming onto the edge of the board.
Six, 6, 5.5.
6, 6, 5.5 for Garrett Summer
Peter
from
Sigurd,
Bucknell.
401C, 1.4.
Peter Sigward from Bucknell.
Five and a half, 5.5, 5.
5.5, 5.5, and 5 for Peter Sigward.
203A, 2.4.
Now we go back to the women's 3 meter as Ellie Uhl comes back up from Boston College.
Scores 6, 5, 5.
6, 5, and 5 for Ellie Uhl.
Halstead, 305C, 2.8.
Serica Halstead from Army at the board currently.
Scores 4.5, 4.5, 4.5.
3, 4.5s for Serica Halstead.
201C, 1.7.
Tally Ford from Bucknell.
Six and a half, 6.
6.5, 6.5, and 6 for Tally Ford.
404C, 2.4.
Paige Sholkoff from Bucknell.
Scores 5, 4, 5.
5, 4, and 5 scores for Paige
203B,
Shulkoff.
2.2.
Elena Schumann from Bucknell.
Scores 3.5, 3.5, 4.
3.5, 3.5, and 4 for Elena Schumann.
301B, 1.9.
Catherine Sire from Army.
Scores 6.5, 7, 7.
6.5, 7, and 7 for Catherine Sire.
Heather Yoshi, 405C, 2.7.
Army's Heather Yoshi now. Back to the pool, edge of the board. Second round of the women's 3-meter dive.
Five, 4.5, 5.
5, 4.5, and 5 for Heather Yoshi.
Jory Mason, 301C, 1.8.
Jory Mason from Army. Let's take a running start at this one.
6, 5.5, 5.5.
6, 5.5, 5.5 for Jory Mason.
105B, 2.4.
Gabriella Taggin from Boston College.
C, 2.2. Scores 6, 6, 6.
6, 6, and 6 for Gabriella Tagian.
303B, 2.4.
As now we go right back to the men's 1-meter dive. Start off
2.4.
with Robert McCrory of Boston College.
Robert McCrory, 303C, 2.1. Scores 5, 5, 5.
3 5s for Robert McCrory
Andrew Mizell, 203.
as Army's Andrew Mizell back up on the board.
Seven, 6.5, 7.
7, 6.5, and 7 for Andrew Mizell. That's probably the biggest round of applause
3B, 2.3.
that anyone has gotten so far this morning at Crandall Pool. Is now Jackson Rotundo from Boston College. The 1-meter board underneath the high dive. On his tiptoes with a backflip into the water. 4-4, 3.5 for Jackson Rotundo.
Michael Burke, 403B, 2.4.
Michael Burke from Army.
Six and a half, 6.
6, 6.5, and 6 for Michael Burke from Army.
Hudson K, 105B, 2.6.
Another Black Knight, Hudson K. Back on the board from the shadows. Going to go all the way from the back.
Scores 7, 7.5, 7.5.
7, 7.5, 7.5. Best score for the men so far.
5132D, 2.2.
Kyle Lipton from Army.
Six, 6.
3 6s for Kyle Lipton with a kind of a corkscrew dive right in the air.
C, 2.8.
Garrett Sommer from Bucknell. As the women have also getting ready to go back on deck for the third round of the 3-meter dive.
Six and a half, 6, 5.5.
6.5, 6, and 5.5 for Garrett Sommer.
Peter, 403C, 2.2.
Peter Sigwer for Bucknell. Starting from the edge of the board.
Three, 2.5, 3.
3, 2.5, and 3 for Sigward.
Ellie, 301A.
And now we go right back to the women with Ellie Uhl from Boston College. Women's 3-meter dive round at number 3.
Scores 7, 7, 7.
Ellie Uhl's score looking like a slot machine, 3 7s.
C, 2.8.
Now Serica Halstead for Army.
Scores 5, 4.5, 4.5.
5, 4.5, 4.5 for Serica Halstead of Army.
Ford, 303C, 2.2.
Tally Ford from Bucknell.
Five and a half, 5, 5.
5.5, 5, and 5 for Tally Ford
203A.
for Bucknell. Paige Shulkoff, another Bucknell Bison from the edge of the board, 3 meters up.
Five, 5.5.
5, 5, 5.5 for Paige Shulkoff.
Elena, 5233D, 2.4.
Lena Schumann from Bucknell.
Six, 5, 5.
6, 5, and 5 for Elena Schumann.
Catherine Sire, 403B, 2.1.
Army's Catherine Sire.
Scores 6.5, 6.5, 6.
6.5, 6.5, and 6 for Catherine Sire.
Heather Yoshi, 105B,
Heather Yoshi from Army.
Five, 4.5, 6.
5, 4.5, and 6 for Heather Yoshi of Army.
Jory Mason, 403B, 2.1.
Another Black Knight, Jory Mason up. Toes on the edge of the board.
Scores 5, 5, 5.5.
5, 5, 5.5 for Jory Mason.
Gabriella, 203A.
Gabriella Tagian from Boston College up.
Four and a half, 3.5, 4.
4.5, 3.5, and 4 for Gabriella Tagian.
Next up, Robert McCrory, 403.
We go right back to the men's 1 meter now in their third round. Robert McCrory of Boston College first up. Shaking out the arms a little bit, getting ready.
Scores 6.5, 5.5, 6.
6.5, 5.5, and 6.
Andrew Mizell, 303C, 2.1.
Andrew Mizell from Army. What a terrific dive back in the second round.
Scores 6, 6, 6.
3 6s for Mizell, who
Jackson, 303.
definitely put a lot of English on that board. Jackson Rotundo of Boston College going underneath the high dive.
Scores 5, 3.5, 4.5.
5, 3.5, and 4.5 for Jackson Rotundo.
Burke, 5132D, 2.2.
Michael Burke from Army.
Six and a half, 6, 6.5.
6.5, 6, 6.5
Hudson K, 203.
for Michael Burke.
2.3.
And his teammate Hudson K from Army. Now what?
Six and a half, 6.5, 6.5.
3 6.5s for
Lipton,
Hudson K.
2.2.
Third Black Knight in a row. Kyle Lipton up.
Five, 4.5, 5.
5, 4.5, and 5.5
Garrett,
for Kyle Lipton.
34D, 2.6.
Garrett Sommer from Bucknell. On the back of the board.
Scores 4, 4, 3.5.
4, 4, 3.5 for Garrett Sommer.
Peter, 103C, 1.6.
Peter Sigward Another Bucknell Bison up.
Scores 4.5, 4, 4.5.
4.5, 4, 4.5 for Sigward.
105C, 2.2.
Round number 4 for the women's 3-meter dive. Ellie Uhl for Boston College leading us off.
Seven, 6.5, 6.5.
7, 6.5, 6.5
Halstead, 52-33D, 2.4.
for Ellie Uhl. Serica Halstead of Army now up. We'll start back to the pool, edge of the board.
Six and a half, 6.
6.5, 6.5, and 6
404,
for Serica Halstead of Army. Tally Ford of Bucknell up. Again, Tally Ford of Bucknell just awaiting her dive. Round number 4 for the women's 3-meter dive. Not really sure what we're waiting on right now. Yeah, it looks like all the diving coaches are just kind of getting together, maybe confirming. Maybe something to do with scoring. Can't really tell for certain.
Tally Ford, 403C.
And now they are ready to go. So Tally Ford with our 4th dive of the morning.
Scores 6, 6.5, 6.
6, 6.5, and 6 for Tally Ford. Her Bucknell teammates certainly like what they saw there.
Average step down.
Neil Dwyer with you here on Night Vision. Again, this is the senior day meet for Army West Point as they welcome in Bucknell and Boston College. Just in a bit of a delay here with the diving as the officials down there are just conferencing at the moment. The schedule will go that get all the diving finished, and then they plan on doing some senior day events. Once that's finished, all the heats and swimming events will be going on.
Next diver is page 105C 2.2.
All right, Paige Sholkoff now back up on the board from Bucknell.
Scores 5, 5.5,
5, 5.5, and 5 for Sholkoff.
5.
Lena Schumann
B 2.4.
from Bucknell.
Scores 5, 5.5, 5.5. Catherine 5231D 2.0.
Catherine Sire from Army now up.
Seven, six, seven.
7, 6, and 7 for Catherine Sire of Army.
2.4.
Heather Yoshi from Army up.
5, 5, 4.5.
5, 5, 4.5
C 2.4.
from Heather Yoshi. As Jory Mason from Army now up. Starting from the edge of the board, round 4 of the 3-meter dive.
5, 5, 5.
Triple fives for Jory Mason.
303B.
Gabriella Tagian of Boston College up.
Scores 4, 4, 3.5.
4, 4, 3.5 for Gabriella Tagian.
405C 3.1.
Round number 4 of the men's 1-meter dive underway. It's Robert McCrory leading things off. Once again for Boston College. Four and a half, 4 and 4 for McCrory as Andrew Mizell comes up. 4, 4.5, and 6 for Andrew Mizell.
Jackson, 403B, 2.4.
Jackson Rotundo, Boston College.
Six, 5.5.
5, 6, 5.5 for Jackson Rotundo.
5134D, 2.6.
That was Michael Burke who just took that dive.
5.5, 5, 4.5.
5.5, 5, 4.5 for Michael Burke of Army.
Hudson K, 5233D.
Army's Hudson K.
Six and a half, 6, 6.5.
6.5, 6, 6.5 for Hudson K.
Kyle Lipton, 203C, 2.0.
Kyle Lipton.
Scores 6, 5.5, 5.5.
6, 5.5, 5.5 for Kyle Lipton.
Garrett, 105B, 2.6.
Garrett Sommer of Bucknell.
Five and a half, 5,
5.5, 5, and 5 for Garrett Sommer.
303C, 2.1.
His teammate Peter Sigward of Bucknell. Round 4 of the men's 1 meter.
Peter, 301C, 1.6. Scores 3.5, 4, 3.
3.5, 4, and 3 for Sigward.
5233D,
Now round number 5 for the women's 3 meter dive. Boston College's Ellie Uhl first up.
five and a half, 4.5, 6.
5.5, 4.5, and 6 for Ellie Uhl.
Erica Halstead, 403B, 2.1.
Serica Halstead for Army. Starting from the edge of the board, back to the pool.
Six, 6, 6.
Triple sixes for Serica Halstead.
404C, 2.4.
Bucknell's Tally Ford.
Six, 6, 6.
Another triple six for Tally Ford.
303C,
Paige Sholkoff up.
six, 6, 6.
A third consecutive triple six here in this 5th round. go with the front flip back to the pool off the edge of the board.
6, 5.5.
5.5, 6, 5.5.
Catherine Sire, 105B.
Catherine Sire from Army up.
Scores 6, 6, 6.5.
6, 6, 6.5 for Catherine Sire.
303B, 2.3.
Army's Heather Yoshi up.
6, 5.5, 5.5.
6, 5.5, 5.5 for Heather Yoshi. Now Jory Mason up, also from Army.
Six, 5.5, 5.
6, 5.5, and 5 for Jory Mason.
404C,
Gabriella Tagian of Boston College up.
scores 5.5, 5, 5.
5.5, 5, and 5 for Gabriella Tagian.
203B, 2.3.
Round number 5 for the men's 1 meter dive now with Robert McCrory first up.
Five and a half, 5, 5.5.
5.5, 5, 5.5 for McCrory.
Andrew Mizell, 403B, 2.4.
Army's Andrew Mizell up.
Scores 6, 6, 6.
666 for Mizell.
5132D, 2.2.
Jackson Rotundo of Boston College.
Five,
5, 5.5, 5.5 for Jackson Rotundo.
203B, 2.3.
Michael Burke from Army.
Scores 6, 6, 6.5.
6, 6.5
Hudson
for
K,
Burke.
305C, 3.0.
Hudson K of Burke. Hudson K of Army, rather.
Six, 5.5, 6.
6, 5.5, and 6 for Hudson K.
Kyle Lipton, 5231D, 2.1.
Kyle Lipton of Army.
Scores 4.5, 5, 5.
4.5, 5, and 5
Garrett.
for Kyle Lipton.
C, 2.1.
Now here come all the Bisons, starting with Garrett Sommer.
Scores 5.5, 3.5, 4.
5.5, 3.5, and 4 for Garrett Sommer.
Peters. 201 C, 1.5.
Peter Sigward of Bucknell up.
Three, 3.5.
3, 3, 3.5 for Sigward.
Ellie. 404 C.
All right, Ellie Uhl up. 6th round of the 3-meter dive.
Scores 4, 4, 4.
Triple fours for Ellie Uhl
Serica. 405 C.
of Boston College. Now Serica Halstead of Army.
Five and a half, 5.5, 5.5.
3 5.5s
5233 D, 2.4.
for Serica Halstead. Tally Ford from Bucknell.
Scores 4.5, 5, 5.5.
4.5, 5, 5.5 for Tally Ford
Page.
from Bucknell.
5233 D, 2.4.
Paige Shulkoff from Bucknell.
Four and a half, 4, 5.
4.5, 4, and 5
Elena. 404
for
C,
Paige Shulkoff
2.4.
from Bucknell. Another Bucknell Bison, Elena Schumann up. The 6th round of women's 3-meter dive.
6.5, 6.
6, 6.5, and 6 for Elena Schumann.
Catherine Sire. 404 C, 2.4.
Catherine Sire from Army now up.
Six, 5, 6.
6, 5, and 6
Heather Yoshi. 5233
for Sire.
2.4.
Heather Yoshi from Army up.